Recording. Okay. Okay. So I have been meaning to do this episode or an episode and upload it for well over a year now. I actually had like 12 months of content planned out, and sometimes it just doesn't happen, right? I even had 3 episodes recorded. Whew. Anyways, I used to go live all the time on my IG, and I got burnt out, y'all. I started that Pop the Balloon. At the time, I was also expanding my suites. I was networking. This is all just on the business side of things. And excuse me if I have to use my notes today. This is, like I said, my first solo episode that I'm actually going to be putting out there. That's not just me going live. And I really want to be intentional with what I'm sharing because I have been on a transformational journey from way too much to doing less and enjoying life and, really finding what makes me happy versus like what keeps me busy. Part of the reason I didn't start this podcast before was, sorry, I'm using a lot in my speech classes. Speech teachers in classes would be so upset with me right now. But the reason I didn't start this podcast before and actually put those episodes out is because it didn't really feel aligned with where I'm at in life right now. I just turned 38. I've had a lot of personal things going on. I had some hormonal things going on. I had a hysterectomy to try to fix that. And unfortunately, I'm still dealing with a lot of the things that we hoped it would fix. I was so busy with expanding twice at my suites last year. I had 20 tenants at one point and currently growing again. But I went through a period where I actually lost about 4 tenants, and one of those tenants had a 5-year lease with me. So that was a major blow in the middle of an expansion year. Not only did I expand in my current building, but I added a second building to the suites that I own, and it turned into more of a mixed use. So it was a much busier and a lot of work in 1 year and a lot of output. And then also to lose all of those tenants right after such a big expansion, it drained me. It really, and to be honest, it broke my heart. I really did enjoy all of the networking that I was doing and the Pop the Balloons that I had started. But once again, I felt like I was putting out a lot more, and it just felt like I don't know what I was searching for, but I wasn't getting the reciprocal energy that I was hoping. And as amazing as those few Pop the Balloons were that I was able to post last year and the year before, and how amazing those connections for those entrepreneurs were, I just felt myself losing the happiness and the energy from it. I even had a few collaborations go, not the way that I had hoped or my heart had hoped. And it just really felt heavy. It felt really, really heavy at the time. So it was very difficult for me to, sorry, intermission by the pets. But it was very difficult for me to get on track with that because there was just so much output. Magic, hi bud. I really don't want you over here. There was so much output with that, and I started to have like daily panic attacks. I was waking up in the middle of the night, crying, having nightmares, and just really, really not enjoying what I was doing anymore. I started searching for ways to find joy beyond business, because business has always brought me so much joy. So it was very difficult to shift gears for me to figure out, landlording, entrepreneurship, hosting, events for other entrepreneurs, all of the things I was doing that just weren't feeling like I was growing. I felt like I was helping others grow, and I felt like I was really kind of losing myself. So some of the personal shifts that helped me, like with this, I'll deep dive later in other episodes, but some of the personal shifts that helped me leave the hustle culture behind was really having to accept my expectations after my surgery, my health, feeling like I can still do everything that I used to do, when in reality, that's not true. I'm actually a disabled veteran. I get a lot of care from the VA, and a lot of back nerve pain and damage. I have a lot of arthritis in my neck. I had a whiplash injury. I have, mental health diagnoses. I have migraines and sleep issues, just to name a few. So as I get older, I'm realizing that it's really catching up to me. And I've had to really shift some of my lifestyle habits. I've had to ask for help a lot more. Even my son, he is getting older, and every time he ages, a new era and a new realm that I have to learn comes in, and he's now becoming a preteen, and it has been so challenging, to say the least. He really, is exactly like me, but only 10. So that's been some learning there. And luckily, I've been in a really stable, I've been in my home for over 3 years now. I, have a relationship that we're really stable in, and I have, a really good friend group. So fortunately for me, I have been able to kind of shift my focus and really, really lock in with my circle, my village, and just really try to find what brings me joy. I have gotten into a lot of grandma hobbies, such as, like, one of my grandmas used to be like into art and sewing and gardening, and my other grandma was into beautiful, like, little things and animals, and she loved, just kind of like a fairy, just she loved like beautiful things. So I've really just leaned into surrounding myself with what I love and what brings me joy, and really leaning into colors, and been calling myself like my rich auntie era, my rich extra auntie, even though I'm a mama. We can all be the rich auntie vibes. And I even started a boutique recently. I've been calling it Kelz Collection. It's a lot of vintage designer bags that, when I was younger, I always wanted but couldn't afford. And to be honest, couldn't really afford the brand new ones now. But I love finding bargains and passing those bargains on to other women. I also have really gotten into robes and muumuus and vintage nightgowns. And so that's kind of what my boutique is focused on, but I do also have a lot of like closet resale items as well. So I've really, really been enjoying those things in my life. And I still want to do business. I can't leave it behind. I still have my suites. I'm actually kind of figuring out where I want to go next, the next like 3 to 5 years. Thinking about scaling back so I can be softer. To be honest, I think a lot of us are in a realm where we're looking at, what can we let go of? What isn't bringing us that joy? And what is really taking from us? And I think that it's kind of an exciting place to be if we look at it from a positive perspective, because we can really curate our lives any way we want. I've always thought that like we're in control of our own universe. Every little decision we make helps us get there. And this is just another decision in mine. I wanted to start showing up again. And I hope that, I can stay consistent. That is the biggest thing that was holding me back before, is I'm afraid of some of the things that I deal with holding me back from staying consistent. But I know that now that I've started this first episode, it's only going to grow from here. I'm really excited to continue to talk to you all about softness, balance in life, life outside of business, my relationships, all the different states that I've lived in, rebuilding my brand multiple times, rebuilding my clientele, changing my licenses, doing all my different interests, motherhood decisions, identity shifts. And I just want y'all to know it's not a business podcast, clearly, not just a business podcast. But I really hope to help other beautypreneurs and other people out there find more balance in their life and welcome them to follow along on my journey while I find balance in mine. Thank you for being here. I'm excited for this opportunity, and I guess you should, hit the follow, like, all those things. Talk to you soon.